And good Monday morning. Believe it or not, we have rolled into an August morning. Whew. Time is flying. Christmas means it's not that far off, isn't it? I know it's hot. It'll probably be hot in Christmas, too. Just a warning as we get near wintertime. How are you? There is so much to talk about, that so much has gone on over the last 48 hours since Friday morning. We visited Saturday, but there's been a lot as we look at this. We got some prayers that need to be sent out for a few folks in our neighborhood as well that we'll talk about and discuss here in just a moment. The threat of weather today does not fall in Mississippi, but if we were to go to the map, and let's show you what Meridian Honda radar looks like this morning. If you're going to be anywhere from Evansville, Indiana, all the way to Columbus, Ohio, those areas right there. That's a level 2 today up through Kentucky, across Louisville, where the horses roam. Y'all be careful in that area there. Nashville getting some showers today, nothing hard. As you'll see here, Mississippi, Alabama looks good. We do have a chance of rain, about a 50% chance before the afternoon is out. So we'll get into the forecast here in just a little bit to make sure that you're aware of what's going to happen. Let's see, as we say a few good mornings. Folks are getting up and at 'em today. Let's see here, all the way from Arlington, Robin Morris. Good morning to you, Roy Ellis. I see you up. Anitra, watching from the house community. Glad to see you there. Ellis Accord, good morning. Also, Miss Joyce Gressett, Laura Lee, I see you. Let's see, Terry Ray, happy August 1st from Philadelphia, A. Glad to see you up and at 'em there. Carthage joins us, James Sullivan, folks from all over. Share with us, and so others will know as we pass along words that happen, headlines across the area and state, in our neck of the woods, so to speak. We'll let you know some headlines nationally this morning as well. We do have a few light showers in Mississippi if you're going to be traveling north for any reason. Let me show you this back on radar here, just so you'll be up to date on all this. Northern Mississippi getting a few showers here. As we go north of West Point, the Grenada area, Corinth, these areas here across the Mississippi Delta. Showers back over toward Huntsville if you've got to travel 65 from Alabama, headed toward Tennessee for any reason this morning. That's the way the weather's starting out. Again, we'll take a closer look at this in just a little bit. Now, as we start today, let's start with our headline story this morning. If you've had a chance to go to our Facebook page and stare at any of the things that have been said, this is the lead story that we have this morning, is the Cefco in Lauderdale has been robbed. This happened a little after midnight, somewhere around 12:40. 4 black males walked in. Of course, they had masks on with what I would call guns. I'm being told it was an armed robbery. Normally, that's a gun. They took an undetermined amount of cash and who knows what else and fled the store. Fortunately, we can pass along no one was hurt. Deputies would get there as quickly as possible. The investigation is ongoing. And as we look at this, as you zoom in on the map here, here it is. This sits right in front of, y'all know where this is if you've ever gone up Highway 45. The Ralph Morgan Rodeo Arena sits here. And this would be the Cefco directly in front. As we look at this. Also, I didn't make a big deal out of this yesterday, but I did get word that someone was cut. We'll put it that way. They stumbled into Marion with a cut and reportedly had been hurt in Lauderdale. It was kind of undetermined where it happened. I think they gave a couple of locations, either by the post office or in a juke joint that is there in Lauderdale. That happened late yesterday afternoon. So a lot went on in Lauderdale over the last 24 hours. Now, I'll be careful there. At this point, deputies are investigating that robbery. Hopefully we'll have a picture before long that we can share. Now, again, remember, when it comes to pictures and masks, you may not recognize a whole lot, but hopefully it will trigger somebody's mind and we'll be able to get this out and bring them to justice. That's what we're hoping. Again, that's Lauderdale, Mississippi. We also had another, I guess, and we'll discuss this more this morning, but on 5th Street in Meridian. And we don't know a lot of details of this other than there was a robbery. Someone was coming out of a convenience store, and I think they'd made it close to getting into their car when they were struck with a brick. From what I understand, it was juveniles that did this, and the person was robbed. They're going to be okay, but they got a lick. As we pull this up so you can take a look at this as we pull the story up. This is right off of that, the 4300 block of 5th Street. I think the person is okay, but this all goes into people will take things in any manner they can. It doesn't have to be weapons. Anything can be used as a weapon, as well as this is a brick. Use caution wherever you go. Never walk out of a store with money in your hand. You know how this is. You'll go in, you got a 20 or whatever, and you got the change in your hand. You didn't put it in your pocket, and you walk out, and someone sees it. Most likely in this case, I'd be willing to bet, and I can't prove this, they were watched as they went in, and then we'll call them bad folks waited on them as they came out. We have tragedy that has struck in the Meridian area. We pass along sincere prayers, and hopefully a recovery will happen out of this as we pull this up. A wreck happened yesterday afternoon. It involved a car and a motorcycle on Highway 19 just past the Lauderdale County Agri-Center. We don't know the details of who's at fault, but whenever there's a motorcycle involved, it's always scary because you just don't have the protection that you do of an automobile. In either case of whatever happened, the motorcycle was struck. The occupants on the four-wheeler were rushed to the hospital. I've gotten several words that they were flown out of town for medical help. We pray for both of them for a full recovery. Our sincere heartfelts for that. Just tragedy when something like that happens. That happened yesterday afternoon. We also got reports as we go back to Lauderdale. This would be late Saturday night if you were at home anywhere on York Road and your power went out. I got a lot of mentions of this. I was like, well, why did my power go out? Had somebody wreck. As we go back to look at this would happen in the wee hours of Saturday morning. Someone would run off the road and clip a light pole. The vehicle would be upside down. Deputies would arrive and, well, they were nowhere to be found. We don't know why they fled the scene, but one can only speculate, can't we? No one was seriously hurt that we're aware of. So that did happen there if you're wondering why your power went out Saturday night in the Lauderdale area, somewhere along in there. And as we said, Friday night, the big concert was down at the Temple Theater. Me and Dylan Ray went down to check it out, and the Skinner Brothers Band was there. Got a chance to listen to them for a few moments. A lot of folks turned out for that. It was a good show. Hope you had a chance to get out and enjoy yourself a little bit as a little entertainment to break the monotonous of what goes on each week. Coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, and Candace joins me, we'll talk about what the Meridian Police Department has been doing. They've made a lot of arrests, some and some murders, and we'll talk about that this morning. As several of these have happened, I almost lose track of when it was and which murder it was. For our small town, we've had a fair amount this year. I think the number's right at 10, if I'm not mistaken. We'll talk about that this morning, coming at 8 o'clock. So join us back for that. As we look around the state of Mississippi, there's always so much that happens in our fair little state. A man has been found in Jackson, just off of I-20 in the grass. He was found dead. No details as to what caused it. He's been identified as Leo Stewart, 39 years old. Investigation is underway as to what happened on that. As we look to Jackson again, I got several stories here about Jackson. A man was shot and killed during a robbery that happened on First Avenue on Saturday over there. A 23-year-old was shot multiple times. As the story goes into this, you scratch your head. He was robbed of several ounces of marijuana. And the ending story says that investigators have not identified the motive for the robbery yet. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Maybe they'll put two and two together later, figure that out. They're still investigating. Bad. And I'm not sure that this number is right, but this was on Saturday morning, this number was put out, and I'm not sure which happened first. But so far, it could be a little over this number. But 82 murders so far in Jackson. 82. Kind of makes you want to speed up when you get near that intersection, doesn't it? Just come on back home. Hinds County has overturned a conviction of guilty on two people. As they got into this, they were accused of a crime that a misdemeanor, simple assault. The judge ruled that the evidence against them wasn't enough to hold them, so all charges were dropped. It's good if someone's cleared of something they didn't do. And I had to look this up because I don't see it in the news headlines very much. Our friends over at Dark Horse Press in Jackson covered this story, and they dug into this. And a Brandon man has been arrested. And her headline on the story, I just don't see this very often, is charged with gratification of lust, a Brandon man. And so I took to the internet to see what that exactly meant. And that is touching someone that is mentally incapacitated, that is not exactly right, that can't block somebody off is what that means. And I had to look that up. So someone's been arrested in the Brandon area. 35-year-old Kenneth Petty, also known as Bubba, was arrested on the 27th by the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. Bond's been set at $150,000. We'll watch that case to see what comes out of that and what other details become of that. Horrifying for something like that. And again, with everything that is ever done, innocent until proven guilty before a court of law. Always remember that. As we look at across the state, we look embezzling. That's always a big crime that happens in the state of Mississippi. Jackson County, Mississippi, they're looking for a young lady they believe to have embezzled around $2,700 from a former employee. Happened on June the 23rd. Stuff never just pays off. It was in the Biloxi areas where that went on. Sad, sad, sad. You will get caught. Don't do it. We've got some tragedies that happened across the state of Mississippi over the weekend. Boating accidents, as we look to this, claims the life of a woman. As we look into this, one woman is dead after a fatal boating accident in the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, they're not giving names at this point, but it happened around Pascagoula a little after 7 o'clock last night. Investigators are still doing this as they dig into this. We pass along condolences to the family of this young lady. She does have a name, we're just not aware of it yet. An awful thing to happen to any family. We also have another similar instance. It doesn't involve a boat, but it does involve a drowning. A Mississippi man has died after he drowned in the Pearl River late Friday night. And this is a common practice in the state of Mississippi. They do it in Louisiana a lot, Alabama as well, deep in the south there. Four-wheeler riding. Reports are that the body of Gregory Bradley has been pulled. He was of Crystal Springs. This happened around Saturday. It will happen Friday night. They recovered the body Saturday morning. Apparently, four-wheeler went off into the river. That's a sad way to begin a day. We feel for this family as well. Did you hear about this? And this gets into a federal law when somebody does this. And you almost think, we don't know who did it. No one's been arrested. But in most of the cases of the crimes like this, it will be teenagers as kids do mischievous things. But as we go to Pontotoc County, Mississippi, which is north of the Meridian area, 30 mailboxes have been knocked down and damaged. That's a whole heap of them in a little small community. You can bet your bottom dollar they're checking for video. They'll get somebody arrested for that. As we start looking around the nation, I don't know if you realize this, but these wildfires that happen in other states, California is where we go. 51,000 acres of land have been on fire. It's scorched. It's burned. A lot of homes have been lost. They declared an emergency situation there. We look to Ukraine since the war has been going on. Not much grain is left there. We see that the first shipment has left there. One of the reasons they say that the food crisis and prices keep going. We need the American farmer, don't we? It's just like any other product in America that we no longer can't get. You know those little chips that make the cars run, that all these trucks sit in warehouses and speedways because they don't have a chip. Same thing. We just don't grow it anymore. More or less pay the American farmer not to farm. Time our country looks out for our own, shouldn't it? Here's something that, in my opinion, and you may not agree with me, Los Angeles, California. Let's look at the headline of this. No longer, and it shouldn't shock me, but it does. To work for the government in Los Angeles, which would be a government job, you no longer have to be a citizen. That's right. You don't have to be a citizen to work for the U.S. government. I'll let y'all think on that one a little while. This can't be good for the long run, can it? California, what a beautiful state. Hate that it's happening that way. Joe Manchin says that he visited all the major networks yesterday morning, says he refuses to back Biden and doesn't think that taxes will be raised. Joe, I'm afraid you're wrong. Y'all watch and see what happens as this new bill has been signed. Taxes will come. It will go up, as always. We don't really need that going on right now as Americans hurt with the prices being so high. Have mercy. That's a few of the headlines that are shaping our area this morning as you wake up. As we said, we're investigating this as we wait for more information from Lauderdale about the robbery last night and hope the suspects are brought to justice. Lots more on the way this morning. We do hope you got a smile. 74 right now. We'll give you the full details on the forecast all on the way here at the Scotty Ray Report.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. And good morning. If you're just joining us, hope your day is treating you well and you got a smile and ready for this one. Right now, again, we're sitting at 74. We do have a 50% chance of thunderstorms today. We'll look at that forecast next. Let's get into this from the National Weather Service. Tell us what their details are.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record highs, record lows. It was 1990, 102 on this date. That's been, 23 years ago. Oof. The record low was set in 1936. It was a cool 62. We'll be far from that today, won't we? As we look at the temperatures for today, let's see. Meridian, we're expected it to be 93. Further south of the Meridian area, more rain. Laurel, Hattiesburg should get more. We've got a 50% chance here in the Meridian area, and it will just increase and be heavier to the south. As we look to Philadelphia, 93 as well. 91 in Columbus. Back over toward Vicksburg, 93 as well. As we cut across that Bama line, we'll get 93 as well right there. Cross over to Livingston through Demopolis. All of these areas here, pretty much the same temperatures. No big changes as we look at this. Now let's go on and look at the heat stress for this week. From 10 until 6, mostly we'll be on the west side of the state. We're going to be sitting at 99 to 100, not crossing that barrier, supposedly. Again, it's only Monday. We'll watch it there, but stay hydrated. Avoid being outside, regardless whether it's 99 or over 100. It can still get you, especially if you're not used to being in the outdoors a lot. Watch what you do. That weed eating will get you. As we look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, this is what we've got. There is a little bit of a cool spell there creeping its way toward Texas. Maybe that'll get to our area. As you'll see this shaded area, we're still above average there. Hope to drop those temperatures. Here's what we've got for the week as we look at this. We start out today again with a 50% chance of thunderstorms. This should roll in this afternoon a little bit after 2 o'clock is when we expected. And we got showers right now in northern Mississippi. We'll look at that on the radar again. The heat index value today, 99, right under that mark of crossing over, getting some advisories. As we look to tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 90 for the high. Now tonight, we'll start tomorrow out with a 73, but boy, look at that, 90 for Tuesday, a little bit better, but the rain chances increased to a 70% chance. And again, this will also be in the afternoon, after 2 o'clock sometime. Mainly 2 to 5 tomorrow is what we're looking at. Mother Nature sometimes changes. By Wednesday, we still got a 60% chance of rain. Thursday, 60%. Friday, 50%. So the moral to the story is we're going to get wet. Most of these will be afternoon showers each day this week, so expect this, put it into your forecast and your plans of what you do and how you plan your day. Let's go ahead and look another week into this and go all the way, up to August the 15th, mid-month. Still rain chances just about every day. And that's good to a degree because it is dry. But we'll keep these temperatures at 90 or below, right around 89 to 90. Nothing over the top for August. That's almost strange and shocking, isn't it, to be that way into mid-August. Mother Nature can change. What's happening in the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic so far, and it's almost like we've skipped a season so far. But it's not over. We want to warn everybody with this. As we look at the National Hurricane Center, nothing forecasted for the next 5 days in either of these places. Been really mild on that end. No threats whatsoever. Let's pray that it stays that way. We don't need any of that. We don't need any homes torn up or anything like that on our coastal areas. Well, the fishing, let's check into Chet's Paint and Body this morning to check this out. Our first major time was right before daylight. You'll get another minor time today at 10 a.m. to around 11. And again, this afternoon, 11:02 p.m. That's real late there. That'll be after dark. So you got a minor chance again this afternoon right at dark. Wind's going to be light southwest wind becoming 5 to 10 miles an hour this morning if you're watching that. Minor chances is not the best day to get out and fish, is it? That's what we've got. Let's go back to radar now and show you where these slight showers are that we've got this morning that are coming down. As we pull this up and go back to Meridian Honda radar, again, showers to the north of here. We've got to go just north of West Point, a little bit around Starkville, just north of there. Heavier rains at Calhoun City as we get up through Houston, Ripley, these areas here, Shelby coming into Clarksdale and the Delta there. As we move over here, we got more showers there in northern Alabama. Coleman, y'all all know where that is in those areas there. Some wet stuff, but nothing major in the Meridian area right now. Again, showers should join us after 2 this afternoon as we wait for a high of about 93. Again, our timeline should be after 2 o'clock. That's what we're looking at on the rain there. I'm so glad you dropped by and visited with us a little bit there. We're going to have some more things coming up at 8 a.m. Candace will come in, lots to talk about and discuss of events. We haven't touched on everything that occurred over the weekend. I've got a whole list of things that we will get into of some homes that were broken into in the areas. We'll give a complete rundown of all of that coming up this morning at 8 a.m. Join us. It's always fun to see you and join us. We'll be live on television as well as we'll be Fox 30 coming to you right there on your wall in your living room. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this and making this such a success. We can't do it without you, without the tips of, hey, what went on? We appreciate that, each and every comment that we get. Thanks so much, and we'll be back in just an hour and 5 minutes from now. We'll go live with our next show. Thank y'all. We'll see you soon from the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all so much.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: